I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I gotta keep it real with you guys. There's times where I don't feel like reading the Bible. There's times like I really like do not even feel like reading the Bible, studying, or anything like that. And I'm just being honest. I'm not perfect, right? Um, there's days where I just don't feel like I'm just not feeling it. My body, my physical body does not feel like studying. There's times I don't feel like praying, but I still know I have to. But you know, and some days I have to force myself to pray. Some days I have to force myself, literally force myself to read the Bible, read a Bible verse here and there. And I'm at a point in life where I struggle. I do struggle sometimes with the faith. I'm being completely honest. I don't study like how I should, and there's sometimes there's a week or two that I don't study or read the Bible or pray at all, and I have to get out of that habit. I have to pray more often. I have to study the Bible more often, and I have to really put the Most High as a number one priority in my life. Definitely, because it's not a joke. It's not a joke out here, and but I'm lucky to know that the Most High loves me. The Most High absolutely loves me, and the Most High has shown me His love in many ways. I don't want to get too deep into personal matters, but I know for a fact that the Most High loves me because the Most High He has saved me through some interesting situations, and He's always been on my side. You know, even in life where things are not going for me, things I'm having bad things happen to me, I'm still here. I'm still up, breathing, blessed enough to have life and study the word with you guys. And there's been down times in my life, but it always works out for the better, and I just have to thank the Most High for that. Um, really, right now, I want to really speak to you guys about humility, being humble, holding yourself to having a low importance, having a low perceived importance about yourself. That's humility, right? Having not having a grandiose perception of yourself. That's humility, and you have to be humble. Have a low, kind of like a low perceived value of yourself to seek the Most High, right? Because you're not always going to be in the mood to pray. You're not always going to be in the mood to study the word, study the Bible. Desires to the back seat and tell yourself, hey, I have a low importance compared to the Most High, right? Even though I don't feel like praying, and even though I don't feel like reading the Bible, what I want doesn't matter. It's about what is about what the Most High wants for me, not what I want for myself. So you have to humble yourself. Be like, hey, I don't feel like studying, but the Most High wants me to study the Bible, so I'm going to study the Bible. Right? I'm going to get into my spiritual desire instead of my fleshly desire. Right? And I'm going to do what the Most High wants for me to do instead of what I want to do for myself. That's humility, right? And the Most High, He wants us to be humble. humble enough to get on our knees and pray to him, get on our knees and pray for forgiveness and confess our sins to the Most High. That takes humility, right? And in the Bible, it talks about being humble, right? Luke chapter 14, 11. Luke chapter 14, verse 11. It says, "For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted." That's basically just saying, once you humble yourself and have a low importance on yourself, the Most High will start giving you blessings, right? The Most High does not like arrogant people who feel so grandiose about themselves, right? You feel so grandiose about yourself that you think you're better than the Most High. You think so highly of yourself that you think you can do it without the Most High. Nah, the Most High wants you to put him on a pedestal above yourself so you can seek him, and he loves humility, right? The Most High always cuts down people who are not humble. That's what it says in Luke 14:11. Once you humble yourself, the Most High will start sending blessings your way, right? Because a humble man is a man who prays. A humble man is a man who studies the Bible, right? And the Most High rewards people who diligently seek him. But in order to get in that mode, in that spirit of seeking the Most High, you have to humble yourself, right? Yeah. The Most High, he has put me in certain situations that has humbled me, right? And I can give you, like, I'm not trying to get too personal, but I can tell you a story. Um, I was doing World Cup coverage, right? I was supporting the African teams for the World Cup. And there's nothing wrong really with that, but I was so obsessed with soccer and the African teams of the World Cup. I was so obsessed with African soccer that when the World Cup, the World Cup just ended, Spain won the World Cup. But when the World Cup was going on from June 11 onward, man, I was obsessed with soccer to a point where I was watching all these World Cup soccer games, but I was not praying. I was not reading the Bible. I was putting soccer as an idol above the Most High. And that's something that he does not want. So it was like a period of about 3 weeks or so that I was not studying the Bible. I was not praying. It was just soccer, 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 the World Cup, the World Cup, the World Cup. And I knew I was supposed to be studying, and I didn't even feel good about not studying the word, not praying. And during that point in time where I wasn't, for like 3 weeks, I wasn't studying, I wasn't praying. I was just like being obsessed with soccer and putting soccer above the Most High, putting the World Cup before above the Most High. I was going through these weird spiritual attacks, right? And I'm not going to dwell into like the specific spiritual attacks that I was receiving, but because I was not seeking the Most High, Satan and demons had a stronger, had a heavy stronghold on my life. I was going through these weird spiritual attacks, and that was really a sign for me that, hey, man, you're having these spiritual attacks. You need to go and pray to God and read the Bible, so you can be in a better spiritual state. And luckily, man, when the Most High loves you, He will always find a way to bring you back to Him. So luckily, there's a guy. Kind of, I'll consider him to be, I guess, an acquaintance of mine, a newfound acquaintance of mine. I met him. We had a nice conversation. Then, like a week or two after I met him, we talk again, have a great conversation about the Bible. And that one conversation, this instilled in me that, hey, I should start studying the Bible again. He really motivated me to get back on track and start studying and praying again. So sometimes the Most High, He will put people in your life to use them as vessels, right? The Most High can use anyone in your life, as His vessel, to draw you closer to the Most High, right? So that's what He did. Then the next week, literally just a few days ago, actually, I randomly meet another brother who is into the Word, he's into the Bible, right? And our old conversation, I'm just the first day I met this guy, we just start talking about the Bible, and I got his contact information down, and I've done Bible studies with this guy, right? So the Most High has when I strayed away from reading the Bible and studying for like a full month, the Most High drew me back to Him because he brought two people in my life, who are heavy into the Bible, who can motivate me and encourage me to seek the Most High diligently, right? And that's actually what you're supposed to be doing, because even in the Bible, it talks about that you're not supposed to be in the faith alone, right? You're supposed to have a community of people around you who can motivate you constantly to read the Bible, to pray, to seek the Most High with all your heart. You're not supposed to be alone in your path to the Most High. You're supposed to have, according to the Bible, you're supposed to fellowship with other people, right? And that's what we need to do. That's what I need to do. And I'm not just saying this just to say it. I actually even need even more people around me to kind of push me and help me out when I'm struggling, right? Because the Most High knows that human beings, we're of the flesh. We have a weakness, right? We won't always feel like reading the Bible and seeking Him. So, and He put it in His word in the Bible that we should be fellowshipping with other believers who can help us when we're spiritually weak, right? I was going through a time where, I'm keeping it real, that I was spiritually weak, man. I did not feel like studying the Bible at all. But when you fellowship with other people, they'll put a spirit on you that will give you strength. And hey man, you need to be studying. Hey man, you need to be praying. And sometimes you do need to be pushed by other people, because it's hard out here, because we're of the flesh. We don't all our flesh, our physical bodies do not always desire to seek the Most High. It should be that way, but hey, it is what it is, right? So, man, if you're lacking humility, are you this arrogant person who's you put your desires above the Most High's desires, right? That means you're not humble. And if you lack humility, you need to humble yourself. You need to get down on your knees and pray for humility, right? The Most High will start blessing you, right? Let me read Luke 14:11 again. It says, "For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. So the Most High says it in Luke 14:11. Hey, when you humble yourself, the Most High will exalt you. He will start giving you blessings, right? And it says the same thing in First Peter verse 5. It says the same thing basically in First Peter chapter 5 verse 6. It says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you in due time." This is talking about God humbles, people who are humble. It basically said that verse says God exalts, rises up people who are humble, right? So humility is a crucial component into seeking the Most High, and it is just a state of being that we have to be, right? Well, stay blessed, you guys. It was nice studying with you guys, and hopefully I'll be back soon with another Bible study. Shalom.